Hello, I'm Wesley Thompson of YouTube channel, Wonder Man YouTube channel, War on Stupidity YouTube channel, Wes Truther, WESTRUTHER at Brightian.com and at BitChute.com. This video is a pictorial video of photographs that I have that I'll try to give you some definition to. You can pretty much look at this for yourself, look at the face and the bone structure of the head and everything, and pretty much figure out that this is a very, very old coin, and I'm going to show you all some really interesting stuff, so don't run away, folks. This is you're not going to see a video like this one every day. There is many, many engravings, statues, and depictions of huge people. Need to stop this. Of huge people. This is a lion, so you know how big lions are. So that'll give you an indication of how big this being is. And this is supposed to be part of the Anunnaki. It's what I understand. Who created the reptilians many, many millions of years ago. That's one story, and it's believable. I haven't researched it, but it's believable. And but anyway, let me continue on. I don't want to bore y'all. Don't want you to run away. I got pictures that'll blow your mind. If I can get this thing to work. This is... I should probably stop this thing. This is an old piece of art. It's done by somebody from another country somewhere. But this is a depiction of the Mayans, Inca-type people, in subject to a reptilian species who actually sat on thrones on the continent of Africa. The black Egyptians and Africans used to look to these beings as gods, and a lot of humans still worship them as gods even today. This is Ecuador, of course you can read, and Mesopotamia. This is two different places where they have different emblems, but it's the same. It's pretty much the same thing all the way through. Remember, when you're looking at these pictures, look everywhere on the pictures, because there's other things in these pictures that most people won't see. You won't pick it up if if you can't look at something very thorough. You're not going to pick things up, such as you see the three-toed lizard feet on this being. It's shaped like a human, but it doesn't have human feet. And it has a reptilian head. And this is part of a reptilian statue that the top has been broke off of. Let's see, next. This is a huge structure, and these are reptilians. These are different looking races or species within a race of reptilians. Here's one with an alligator looking head. If you saw this picture and drew it up real close and looked at each one of these things individually, it'll freak you out. And this is ancient architecture. This reptilian stuff was real big at one time. Still big today. This is a self-explanatory picture yourself. Look, these people with no Army, Navy, Air Force, or Marines, or National Guard, when the U.S. and the United Nations and their mercenaries kill off a lot of these people, there isn't anybody left to fight for their entire existence. Not all of these people are terrorists. They are trying to defend their country. The war is not being done on American soil. America's wars are done somewhere else, not in America. That should send a red flag up into your thought process. Israel, a war criminal. These are white phosphorus bombs being peppered all over top of Gaza and other places too. This is the kind of weapons that they're using on other countries, similar to the weapons they're using on the homes in California. Here's another one, a different area, different color. I think this is because it's nighttime, but I'm not sure. It could be daytime, but the sky could be so full of smoke that it looks dusk. But these are direct energy weapons. This is what is left of the Texas fertilizer plant. This is a plasma cannon blast coming off of the Solar Warden Star Wars defense system, and these plasma blasts were coming in on an angle like this, is striking that building. This building, I didn't want that thing to do that. This building is a they made organic fertilizer, plus it was a meeting place for good old boys and girls who were the resistance to the New World Order. And they had a lawsuit in against Monsanto. So Monsanto don't like generic anything, especially fertilizer. And they had people here that had a lawsuit, so they used their Star Wars Solar Warden defense system and took this fertilizer plant out and all people that was in the fertilizer plant. And a lot of people died close by, a lot of destruction. American peacekeepers in action. Chemtrails. You folks have no idea what's in these chemtrails. They've got strontium, barium, aluminum. They've got mercury, fluoride. They've got nanoparticles. They've got diseased human and animal DNA. They've even found human DNA in these chemtrails collected in rainwater. Bush family flow chart. If y'all have never taken the time, a few minutes to study this over, I mean, you got the Carlyle group. You got the Carlyle group. The two biggest contributors were Bush and Osama bin Laden. And Osama bin Laden didn't die on the ship. They didn't dump his body in the ocean. He's still alive. You folks, they stage so much stuff that no one can really keep up with what they're doing. Can you see, I took this photograph. It's from a video that I took from a mountaintop in Tennessee. Can you see this serpent-looking thing in the sky right here? Can you folks see that? See the eyes, see the mouth? I got something a little bit further in here to show you. This guy Artie, shucks, I can't think of his last name. He's a scientist who lied about the Solar Warden plasma and laser cannons blowing up the General Electric Westinghouse nuclear reactors in Fukushima Daiichi, Japan, which has now polluted the whole Pacific, all of the air across the United States, and the water basins from Alaska down beyond Mexico is all now polluted with radioactive waste and material come from Fukushima Daiichi, Japan. And this guy lied and said that a methane cluster of blue streaks come at cosmic speed up out of the ground. A blue 1 kilometer high flame came up out of the bowels of the Earth's surface through the nuclear reactors and shot on up into the sky. This guy is a lying dog. The plasma strikes and the laser strikes came down from the sky and hit the reactors. Israel went out and set up cameras, as did the United States, on these reactors just a couple of days before they started blowing them up. They filmed the whole thing, and I have studied some of these films, and I can see the direct energy weapons flashes in the clouds in the sky just a split second before the explosion of the nuclear reactor. The sky has a quick flash. That's a signature of a direct energy weapon being fired into these structures causing the nuclear reactors to explode. And they own the scientist. And here's a photograph that I took with my own camera of faces in the sky and the so-called planet Mars, and I took this back in 2012 when they were talking about Nibiru coming to crash into the Earth. And so I just wanted y'all to see this. This is one of them holographic planets, and they got a hologram program that would just blow y'all's mind. Soldiers guarding poppy fields, Afghanistan. This is 5G. They're putting up these devices everywhere. See, 5G has a shorter range, so they have to put up a lot more cell towers and amplifiers to keep the 5G spread out, to keep it strong. I don't understand why it takes more towers for 5G, but it does. And this penetrates your epidermis, your nerve endings, and goes all the way down into, with different frequencies and different types of electromagnetic radiation, microwave radiation, radio wave radiation. It goes down into your body deeper. But this is serious business. And it's like the FCC said they're not going to study it, they're not going to regulate it, and if you get sick, go to your doctor. Because they already knew 5G was going to do the job on us, just like the Spanish flu did the job on us from the radio waves and the television waves from the late 1800s, especially between 1906 and 1920. And here's a picture of the Pentagon, supposed to have been struck by an airplane. And I have a video that shows a hole right here where the tip of this paper-looking plane is that isn't even big enough to drive a full-dress Harley through. Then I have photographs, videos somewhere of FBI people walking around out here holding fuselage pieces from a passenger plane. And then later, the FBI shows that a rocket hit the Pentagon, not a plane at all. So they have just told one lie and one charade right behind the other folks. That a man was paid $200,000 to set off a bomb and start a fire, and they ended up killing him. They gave him $100,000 up front. I think they killed him before the other money ever came into play. But this one, possibly two, but one man created this fire and everything else right there, folks. This is was taken from a deep underwater motion camera. This is an aquatic man, looks like a man, who took the spear thing that he had, and I had this video. I no longer have it. But just before this character appeared with this shaft, a fish swam across in front of the camera lens like this, and he speared it almost in front of the camera. But this is really deep. I forgot the depth of this water, but this is really deep, and this being has unusual appearance and has no breathing device because they have gills. They can breathe underwater. Mermaids are real. You people might not believe it, but they're real, and they've been around a real long time. This is what a couple of items that I own can do to a half-inch steel plate. And I'm expecting to be probably bringing some of that into action in the next 2 to 4 days. Maybe tomorrow. I can't help it. My neighbors have set me up with the cops, and I know they're going to come back to the house and want to take me, want to search my house and everything else. And folks, I got to tell you, this may be my last video I ever make, because I'm not going to be taken. My house is not going to be searched, and ain't nobody going to put their hands on me again like they did yesterday. I'm coming back with part 2.